Hey guys, another beautiful day in the beautiful life. I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And as always, I hope you're protecting yourself from people who are not good for your heart, not good for your soul, not good for your mind, not good for your fucking emotions, okay? And oh no. And oh no to those kind of people. And people tell you who they are. If you're silent and you observe, like I do, um, yeah, people tell you what who they are all the time. You just need to be keenly observant of such things. Yeah, like for me, I've mentioned in other videos that I look at energetic signatures, even in a person's gait, the way they walk, the way they hold themselves, the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, the words that they use, the tone that they use, their microfacial expressions. Yeah, you can tell a lot by a person. Like you can, like for instance, like when I'm like, this is a good example. I've been like in a restaurant or a store, like, and you can see the ones that are there to like bang it out and the ones that are just there to milk the clock and get paid, but they don't really want to be there. And I feel sorry for them because I mean, if you're trading your time for any type of activity or experience, why aren't you fucking enjoying it? If you're not enjoying it, that's a telltale sign you should fucking probably find another job or another place to reside. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot, aren't I? That happens sometimes. But yeah, you can tell. Like you can see the ones that are hustling and they put effort and energy and intention into like the kind of work they produce. And then you have the ones that are just kind of like sitting around and moving very slowly without a care in the world. And you know that, yeah, they just I just look at stuff like that. Because if you were to yoke your energy to a particular person, do you want it to be sludgy or do you want it to be like bang on? You know, I know how to like regulate. So, like, when it's time to relax, I certainly relish relaxing. But when it's time to go, time to hustle, time to do, yeah, I do that too. It's all about self regulation. Yeah, but yeah, you just sit around and watch people. It's really funny. Like, I mean, sometimes, a lot of times, I don't know that I'm also, sometimes I'm not even aware what I'm doing. Like some people tell me I do these goofy dances. I have no idea. I just do them in the moment. Um, but most of the time I'm like watching people. I think I do it to like, I've come to the conclusion that I watch people often, not only to understand like what I'm dealing with, but as a form of protection. You know what I mean? Like in order to protect myself, I have to know what I'm up against. So that's why I'm usually in observation mode. Yeah, people might think I'm goofy and stuff, and I am goofy, but that's also like I want to say a mechanism to get people to like not see me as a threat because honestly, I'm not a threat unless you're trying to attack me. Yeah, I mean, if you're not defending yourself and protecting yourself against attacks, what are we doing here? Yeah, you're the most precious commodity. Why aren't you protecting and safeguarding yourself? You're like precious. Anyways, I did take notes. I did take time to sit down and like just take notes. Today's video is going to be a mixed bag as usual. Don't you like mixed bags? I mean, when you buy like Skittles, there's like all these different like options. But then like it's good to have options. It's good to be able to choose between all the different colors. So yeah, mixed bag, man. Okay, let's see. Let's start with, this is going to be about empaths and HSPs, highly sensitive people, have been living in a state of reactive abuse. We've been living in a state of reactive abuse. And then also I'm going to talk about like fortifying boundaries. Yeah. Somebody left a comment in my last video, and yeah, that is an excellent subject to talk about, fortifying boundaries. I'll probably leave timestamps so that you can like skip through all the rambling. get to it, get to the juicy tidbits that you want to get to. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, empaths and highly sensitive people have been living in a state of reactive abuse. What is reactive abuse, guys? Reactive abuse, in a nutshell, is dealing with people who deliberately trigger you into aggression and then blames you for it. Like, for instance, give you a good example. And this has been happening for most of my life. I just didn't have the um, resources or the tools or the awareness to like acknowledge what was going on. But yeah, now that I do have a term and resources, yeah, we've been dealing with reactive abuse for most of our lives. And I think as a like self-preservation mechanism, we've been um, practicing people pleasing in order to just kind of like feel safe in an environment around people who feel very unsafe. That's the best thing we need to do is like, okay, well, I feel very unsafe around these people in this environment. So maybe if I please and appease, then I will be safe. Right? And and there is also a term for that. It's called fawning. So a lot of times when people feel unsafe, they go into flight, fight, freeze, or fawn. And I think people pleasers fall into the category of fawn. Fawning, here, let me tell you. Fawning is a trauma response to avoid conflict and ensure safety by suppressing your own needs to appease others. Does this sound familiar? Does this ring a bell? Does this resonate? Is that what you've been doing for most of your life? Because if you have, me too. But then, yeah, I mean, after a while, you notice like that doesn't work. Like one sided relationships, a lot of abuse. And I'm not talking just physical abuse, I'm talking mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual abuse. People just one sided relationships where we're like giving and giving and doing and pleasing and then just getting abused and taken for granted and overlooked and dismissed. And yeah, that's not it. Yeah. Unless, I mean, if you like that, you can stay in that phase. But I honestly was very perplexed and very confused, and I needed answers. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, what am I doing wrong? How am I participating in this dynamic that's creating these kind of outcomes? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being around people who just mistreat me, take me for granted, one-sided relationships, draining. Yeah, I'm tired of that. I want something that's healthy, fulfilling, peaceful, aligned. Not something where I constantly feel like my nervous system is like tense and anxious and like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I want to be peaceful. I want to be like very, I don't know, like, yeah, just peaceful, comfortable in my skin, comfortable in my environment, comfortable in my energy. I don't want to constantly go out in the world and be like, ah, ah, ah. Yeah. Um, So I also was wondering, like, what is the difference between fawning and like being genuine? You know what I mean? Because I do like to gas people up. I like if I see somebody that's beautiful, I will go out of my way and go, "Oh my God, you look so beautiful," and I'm just like, "Okay, am I fawning?" And so the difference, if you want to know, um, so the difference between if you're fawning or if you're actually being genuine and authentic, um, is genuine actions. Genuine actions are voluntary, not based on fear or rejection. You know what I mean? So like you say it because you mean it, not because you feel like you have to say it. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've graduated because if I don't like something, I'll just straight up not like it. Like I won't. You know how some people like whether it's good or bad, they'll be like, "Oh my God, that's so nice." No, like if I see something that's nice, obviously I'm gonna go, "Oh my God, that's amazing. That's beautiful. You're amazing." You know what I mean? But if I don't think something is nice, or I just either stay silent, or I'll ask somebody, "Do you want my honest opinion?" Because you might not like it. Yeah, so I'm definitely being fucking genuine. Also, like this applies to people. Like if I'm not vibing with them, I don't pretend to like them. I I don't know that I've ever done that really. Like if I don't like somebody, No, I think in my people pleasing days I did. I did, even though I didn't like something, I turn a blind eye and turn a cheek on it and still act like it was okay. Now I'm just like, no, that's not it. Or like I said, I just be very silent and I keep to myself. Yep. It's funny. I have a coworker. Oh, she brought it up to me, but she also said that she recognizes that she's a people pleaser, and I was like, oh, I said, I used to be a people pleaser, but I'm not anymore. And she's like, I know, I can tell. Like, if we have a customer and you don't like them, like your face turns to like, and I'm like, what do you mean my face turns? She's like, no, you can tell. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm not vibing with you, I'm not going to pretend I'm vibing with you, period. You know? Anyways, let's see. I covered empaths have been in a state of reactive abuse. Yes, absolutely. I feel like we've been around people, we've been in environments that have made us feel very unsafe. A lot of abuse going on, and a lot of people like look for physical abuse because you can see it. But dude, like I feel like most of my abuse was mental, emotional, like just being broken down, just me, just being made to feel this small. You know what I mean? And at one point, I believed it, and I was always questioning myself. Am I a bad person? Am I doing something wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? The only thing I was doing wrong, the only thing you're probably doing wrong is accepting the mistreatment, um, allowing yourself to be convinced that you're this small when in actuality, you're like fucking this big, bigger than my arms can hold. Yeah, that's the only thing you're doing wrong. You're doubting your abilities. You're like erasing your self erasure in order to like appease everyone else's needs. Yeah, self erasure. That's probably what we're doing, what we are or were doing wrong, depending on where you're at. You know, yeah, like just not acknowledging that we also have needs and we also have wants and we also will tolerate or not tolerate certain things. No, it was always like directing our attention and enmeshing with other people's energies in order to make sure they're comfortable so that we can be comfortable. You know what I mean? No, let's not do that anymore. Let's take up space, guys. Oh, and then when I come across now, when I come across somebody who's toxic, who has very like toxic attributes, um, I don't try to please or appease them. I just let them be. I just see them as they are. I don't try to like paint them out. I don't enter a state of delusion and try to like look at their potential. No, I see them as they are. Okay, right now you're a very unhappy person. You obviously don't like yourself. You're very insecure, operating from ego. Like I'll see those things very clearly, and I don't crucify them for them, but I also know how to like it's not even like, how do I say it? Like I just don't engage with them, you know? Because they have issues and their issues are not my issues. Their problems are not my problems. It is my responsibility and your responsibility, um, our priority, honestly, to protect our energy, to protect our vibe, to make sure we're grounded, to make sure we're aligned despite being amidst chaos. Just think of yourself as like being the eye of the storm, being the eye of the storm, like you're like in a tornado. There's all that stuff going on around you, all that chaos, and you're at the eye of the storm, untouched, unmovable, in your peace. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just one, you don't take it personally. Two, you don't engage. Like, don't try to fix them. Don't try to like please them. Don't. I know this sounds counterintuitive because we've been so used to and so accustomed to going in there and like, oh my God, what can I do to make you feel better so I can feel better? No, no, no. Feel better in yourself so that no matter what's going on around you, you're cool, and then you just can see people just as they choose to show up. Yeah. What else do I do? Oh, yeah, gray rock method, man. Like, just be fucking boring because these people are boring. It's like, what are we doing here? You're boring. Like, just bring all these problems and that. Doesn't even have to exist. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So again, don't take it personally. Just accept them as they are. Don't try to change them. Um, Gray rock method, just be super boring. This is a way of protecting your energy, honestly, conserving your energy so that you don't have to engage. Like one word sentences. Like if they want to like talk to you, yup, cool, interesting. I often say, oh, like somebody, yeah, I don't know, like what, but if somebody comes to me, I don't know if they're telling me something positive or negative, I'll just go, oh, or oh. That's it. That's it. And then I just go on my merry way. And then, if they're safe to be around, obviously I will engage more. I will like allow them to like interact with me more. But if they're not safe, I'm just like, oh. That's what I do. It's kind of like my neutral nope. Oh, okay. Let's get into fortifying boundaries. Fortifying boundaries. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have mentioned in other videos that I enjoy my alone time immensely. Obviously, that's why you see me in these videos alone, in nature, in my car, alone. I enjoy my alone time immensely, but when I do go out and about in the world, I definitely like mentally prepare myself for it. And then I also make precise decisions. Like, for instance, if I'm going to go out shopping for necessities, I will precisely choose a window of time when I know it's not crowded. I'm not going to go out like midday when everybody's in there, like all crazy, all the energy. No, I'll precisely decide to go during a particular window of time when I know that the store is pretty empty. And then it's a piece of cake. Why put yourself in situations? If there's long lines or if I can't find parking, I immediately pivot. I take that as a sign that okay, I need to be elsewhere because right now it's too congested for my liking. And I immediately take that. I don't try to force things. Yeah. Um, Fortifying boundaries. When you're out and about and around like a bunch of people, again, precise decisions on who you will or will not interact with. Okay, let's see. I wrote some stuff down. I'm getting off track here. Here, fortifying boundaries. Practice the art of saying nope. Practice the art of saying nope. Yeah, especially if you've been like a yes person, like yes, 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 yes. Also, if you are apt to apologizing and over explaining, do the opposite. Like don't over explain. Don't apologize, especially if you know you haven't done anything wrong. Like what are we doing here? Why are we apologizing? You know? Yeah, do the opposite. Do the opposite. You have to retrain your brain and create new neural pathways by doing the opposite of what you've been doing all this time. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, but, you know, like any muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it gets. Repetition is key. Yeah. So if you've been a like yes person, just start saying no. If you are apt to over explaining yourself, stop over explaining yourself. If you are also apt to apologizing a lot for things that you have not done wrong, stop apologizing. If you are apt to feeling guilt, stop guilt tripping. Stop, blah, blah. Stop guilt tripping yourself. Stop allowing others to guilt trip you for doing what is best for you. You know. Okay. Let's see. Stop when you feel the knee jerk reaction to do any of these things. And again, it's going to be uncomfortable, but I often say get comfortable being uncomfortable because that's where growth occurs, you know? What else? Yeah, stop feeling guilty for doing what's best for you. Stop letting people tell you what you want or need because you know what you want or need. Stop letting people dictate your reality. Stop letting them do that stuff. Stop trying to help others who are creating their own problems. I think I've mentioned that like before. I don't know. Hey, hold on. I was parked in the shade and then the sun was getting kind of kind of weird. So I had to adjust my camera. Yeah, that's how you fortify your boundaries, guys. Do the opposite of what you're normally accustomed to doing. And don't feel bad about it. I remember like the first time I met somebody, I might have mentioned this in a video like way back when. I met a girl, like I guess somebody was trying to guilt trip her. Like somebody, it was simple as like somebody was trying to tell her hi and she didn't want to say hi. And then the other person like kind of tried to make her feel guilty about that. Like, wow, you're so rude. And she looked at me and she's like, I'm not going to let anybody guilt trip me. I'm not going to let anyone have that kind of power over me. You know, this is all about taking your power back, guys. Stop giving your power away to everyone else. That's how you fortify your boundaries. And in order to do this, you have to know yourself. You have to know what you what you don't want, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate. I mean, what did I say? What you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. You have to know yourself and you need to stand on it. You know, it's like it's like when you eat food, you know what for instance, if you're lactose intolerant, you're not gonna consume milk, right? Like on a physical level, when it comes to like food that you feed your body. You know what you want, you know what you don't want, you know what you can tolerate and what you won't tolerate, right? Same with your mental and emotional and spiritual body. You have to practice the same things. You have to know what kind of food is good for you and what is not good for you and what you can tolerate and not tolerate and stand on it. Like, that's not good for me. I don't want it. That's a huge nope. You know what I mean? But going back to reactive abuse, man. Um, yeah, I've noted like a lot of like manipulators. They like to like create issues, and then when you like, for instance, like what do? They do verbal insults, playing the victim, making you seem crazy by denying your reality and dismissing your emotions. They'll do all of this stuff, and then when you reach like a tipping point and you get reactive, which is a normal response after encountering an insurmountable amount of abuse, they're going to like turn it on you. Like, you're the problem. It's like, how am I the problem? You've been mistreating me for a prolonged period of time. The only thing I've done wrong here is I tolerated it. And now that I'm speaking up for myself and advocating for myself, I'm a problem. No, you're the one that has created these situations. You're the one that has, you know what I mean? And it's really weird. It's definitely like a mirror because that sounds like blame shifting, but for me, it's just like I take accountability. Like, yeah, the thing that I did wrong was like I tolerated it, and I'm no longer tolerating it. Like, your inability to treat another human being with respect and kindness is not is no longer tolerable, and that's a huge nope. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if you learned anything from this video. If you did, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. I know I was all over the place, and you know, as usual, it's a mixed bag. I mean, what can I say? I'm a mixed bag, man. Anyways, yes, thank you for stopping by. And dude, practice the art of saying nope. In fact, get to a point where like you're so non-reactive around like reactive people that they look boring to you. You know, like you're watching a really boring movie, like yawn. Oh my god, this person is so boring. They really don't deserve or require my attention or my interaction. And I'm going to stop the knee-jerk reactions to I don't know, act as a human self. No, thank you. Especially to people who are abusive and unsafe. What are you doing here? Stop fawning. Start yawning. Anyways, blessings to one and all. Amen.